If week one taught us anything, it's that the tight end position is always boom or bust. So, which names are set to boom in week two? Let's break down the top 15 tight ends. What's up, Headliner Nation? My name is Brad, the Rankings King. And before we jump into this week's rankings, just a reminder that these are the consensus rankings between Jake and Kyle. And for more detailed analysis, make sure to check out the start-sit videos posted earlier this week. And if you want even more breakdowns each week, make sure to join the Fantasy Headliners community by hitting that join button below. It's going to get you access to extra rankings like flex, kicker, and defense, and a spot in our exclusive Discord community, which was just popping off this week. It's so much fun. You don't want to miss out. Now, before we rank week two, we've got a few tight end hits and misses from week one. Our first hit is Kyle Pitts, and let's just say the Kyle Pitts tracker is now at 1 when it comes to being in the top 12 of tight ends. Next hit was Sam Laporta, and despite all the weapons in Detroit, we kept him in the top 8, and he finished at tight end number 6. Next up is Zach Ertz, and no one was putting Ertz in the top 15, but we did, and he finished at the tight end 9 position. So that's our hits, but we want to be honest about our misses as well. What about Juwan Johnson? 11 targets, that's huge for the tight end position, and even though all of those aren't quality, in New Orleans, that kind of volume shows that we had him way too low. Next up was Noah Fant, and he tied for the team lead in targets, and he was the lone ranger to find the end zone in a really, really tough passing game in week one. And then our next miss was Harold Fannin Jr. We expected him to have a role in the offense, but we were not expecting him to lead the team in targets at all. All right, that's it for the hits and misses. Now let's move on to tier 1, and we're going to start with Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Travis Swift-Kelce, and Sam Laporta. Number 1, Trey McBride. Once again, he led the team in targets. And Bowers may be just under 100%, and this Carolina team that they're facing, they just allowed the 5th most fantasy points to tight ends in week number 1. Coming at the number 2 spot, we've got Brock Bowers, and we really need to watch the practice reports on Bowers this week. Reports are saying that he will be okay after a minor knee injury in week 1, and so everybody hold hands and pray for the knee of Bowers because we are going to need him this year. And then at number 3, Travis Swift-Kelce. Similar to last year, the Chiefs are going to have to use Kelce more than they would have originally planned, and in a Super Bowl matchup, Kansas City is going to need him in order to have a chance this week. At number 4, we've got Sam Laporta, and the Bears possess the ability to put points on the board and to allow points in bunches, which could easily lead to more passing in week 2, and that's why Sam Laporta squeaks in there. And so that's your top 4, your Mount Rushmore of tier 1, if you will. All right, before we head into the next tier, I want to make sure that you've got an account with Underdog Fantasy. We're crushing these player pick'ems on Underdog this year, and now is the time to sign up. Head over to Underdog Fantasy or download the app. Create a new account and use the code HEADLINERS when you do. Then just make your initial deposit and come join a contest. Guess what? You're going to get a first-time deposit bonus and a free player pick'em. And Jake is also going to be breaking down the best picks weekly in a show on Fridays right here on the channel to get you some of that prize money. So links to join are in the description below, and we look forward to playing with you in 2025. All right, let's move it to tier number 2. We've got Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, TJ Hawkinson, and David Njoku. At number 5, we've got Tucker Kraft. There are 3 wide receivers in Green Bay battling through injuries right now. Dontavion Wicks, Matthew Golden, and Jaden Reed. And if any of those guys are out or limited, that only helps out the case of Tucker Kraft against Washington. Number 6, we've got Tyler Warren, and what a surprise in week 1. He led the team in targets with 9, which is great, but the biggest concerns here are if Daniel Jones can repeat what he did in week 1, and this matchup against Denver is going to be much tougher than Miami last week. Coming in at number 7, we've got Mark Andrews. And there were 81 points scored in that Ravens game last week. And Andrews, only 1 catch for 5 yards. It's infuriating. And so this entire tier 2, it's full of guys who are boom or bust. And Andrews against Cleveland this week is just that. At number 8, Kyle Pitts. And no, we are not crazy, but both Darnell Mooney and Drake London are both nursing injuries, and that could only lead to more targets going to Pitts, especially in a matchup against Minnesota where Atlanta is going to have to find the end zone. At number 9, we've got Hunter Henry, and there was great volume in week 1 with 8 targets, and he gets a matchup against a Miami team that is falling apart, who played defense like a wet paper bag in week 1. We like Hunter Henry here at the number 9 spot. Rounding out the top 10, we've got TJ Hawkinson. Now, obviously, Hawk is capable of top tier tight end numbers, but in week 1, they needed him blocking more to help out JJ McCarthy, and that might not change for the next couple of weeks while JJ gets settled into his role. And then at number 11, rounding out tier 1, we've got David Njoku. And having Harold Fannin take so much volume, it's not ideal, but Njoku does still have more big play upside in this offense. Njoku still had 6 targets, which is enough, and Baltimore allowed the second most points to tight ends in week number 1. All right, that's it for tier number 2. Moving on to tier number 3, we've got Juwan Johnson, Jake Ferguson, Brenton Strange, and Zach Ertz. Juwan Johnson going against San Francisco. And Johnson was on the field for almost every offensive snap and saw 11 targets last week. And this is a team that is going to be trailing pretty often. And with that usage, he needs more attention in lineups. Next up, we've got Jake Ferguson. And Ferguson's one of those fringe guys that could get enough volume to be a tier 2 guy, but everything is so short, he has a hard time getting that big gain. And so if Dallas can just get in the end zone against the G-Men this week, Fergie could have a solid chance at a touchdown. And then at number 14, we've got Brenton Strange going against Cincinnati. And what's great about Strange is he isn't really like a dink and dunk guy. He's used vertically in that passing offense, and that helps him since he isn't going to get huge volume. He averaged 14.8 yards per reception in week 1, and that's great. We'd love to see more of that. And then number 15, Zach Ertz. Bro, Zach Ertz is like the tomater of NFL tight ends, just old and reliable, and his volume might not be high, but he's one of their first looks in the end zone, and that keeps him squarely in the top 15. So there you go, tier 1, 2, and 3. And then on the outside looking in, we got a few guys: Harold Fannin Jr., Dalton Kincaid, Jonnu Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Mason Taylor. So we got to know, tight ends, that's your tight end breakdown for week 2. Are you rolling with the safe option, or are you chasing upside in your lineup this week? Make sure to drop your hot takes below, hit that like, leave us some questions. We're going to get to as many as possible, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on our quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end rankings each and every week. We appreciate you, Headliner Nation, and we'll see you in the next video.
Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game.